January. If you were like us, you may be taking a look at your closet and thinking, this could use some work. So today we are here with all sorts of closet tips for you and just basic garment maintenance and wardrobe tips. So if you're new here, Amy and I are our amplified life, which we're so excited to bring to you. We've been here the last few years on YouTube. There's lots of bingeable content that you can go back and take a look at. And we just love to show up and serve you each and every week. Our videos go live on Friday, so make sure and hit the subscribe button, and next to it there's a little bell, and you'll want to select all so that you get those notifications when they go live. But let's just dig right into it today with some closet tips. So when we were kind of brainstorming this, I was thinking about, what's one thing that's really kind of changed my closet other than finding Cabby clothing, which we both love, because I went from 3 closets full of clothes and nothing to wear to now about a half a closet. And it's all because everything intermixes and it's just so beautifully designed and it's intentional. So we'll be digging deeper into that as this year progresses, but just know that your closet is expensive real estate, and we want you to be able to maximize what you've got and not have everything so crammed in that you can't even think about what you're going to wear. It gets overwhelming, and then you may or may not succumb to those closet come-aparts like I used to. You're needing to get ready for an event or even to just go to town and do errands, and either it doesn't fit, it doesn't make you feel good, it's, whatever it is. We want to make sure your closets work for you. So I'm going to throw it right on over to Amy, and she'll share her very first tips with us. I can't wait to hear.
Okay, so I had my do not disturb on, but my husband gets to come right through that and just called, this is life. Yes, so we were really talking about how we organize our closets, talking back and forth. Now, Rebecca may have gone from 3 closets down to a half, but I know a lot of my Cabby addicts are just like me, and there's things they really have a hard time letting go of. So I'm going to zoom my camera in really quick so that you can see, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see it here, but there are a few hangers that we have turned backwards. It's going to be hard to see on camera, but the point being is if you do this to all of your clothes at the beginning of January, so just go in your closet, turn all of your hangers backwards. Then as you wear them, you hang them up the correct way. After the season's over in a few months, you may really decide there's some pieces that even though you love them, they might be better donated to somebody that can then recycle Cabby. And isn't that one of the greatest blessings of buying quality, that it can be handed down? I'm from a family of 5 girls. And so I grew up knowing that we needed to have hand-me-downs. The other thing that is key for my closet is I like to organize everything by fabrication, which may sound weird. So I have 2 categories, but fabrication and also the type of garment it is. So if it's a woven or a chiffon fabrication, it's going to go together, and then knits are going to go together as well. Now, this is my sample rack, so I don't have as many here, but let me kind of break this down for you. So I'm one of those weird people that short has to go first and then long. And I always have to have everything facing open to the left. That's part of how we do it with Cabby for our shows. So it has carried forward to my personal closet. But I will show you a hanger trick in a minute, but if you don't flat lay your sweaters, please don't leave them on your hangers. We're going to show you a really efficient trick. But if you do hang them on the hanger, I like those chunky items first so I can immediately push them out of the way. And then I start with my sleeveless. I always do my knits in first. You could do chiffon in first. You could do all those other things first. But I like knits first because I dress comfortable first. Then I go to my chiffon fabrications, and I obviously am doing my sleeveless knits, then my sleeveless woven. And then you'll start to see maybe a flutter sleeve, maybe a short sleeve. So here's my 2 chiffon. And I also like to go light color to dark. Again, it's just an Amy thing. And then I'm getting into my long sleeved knit fabrications. And the reason I like my knits first is generally I am running around. I want to know exactly, like usually I'm like, okay, I got to take Breeley somewhere, or I've got to go meet my boys. I know if I'm going to wear a knit or a chiffon. So it just helps me know today it's a little more casual, tomorrow it's a little more dressy. So then you'll see that I'm getting into my chiffon fabrications. You could even go so far as to do crew necks versus collars versus whatever, but I just prefer to do light to dark. Just makes it easier for me. And then solids. And then I go into my dresses, and I do sort of the same thing, but this is the catch on dresses. I will do my knits first, but if I have a short sleeve chiffon dress or mesh dress, that's going before my knits. So again, you can categorize however you want. And then I do like my jackets in back. It's another reason on the front and the back end of my closet. If I have to, I can really push those out of the way and kind of dive through the middles. It also helps me know seasonally if I'm going to store anything or not. I can just sort of grab those and go. So my jackets are categorized again, casual to more businessy, long sleeve, 3/4 length sleeve to long sleeve. And then if you do happen to hanger your pants, those of you that love cabby colors, I do cabby colors first, the soft knit fabrications, into the cords, into the trousers, and my denim is always last. So Rebecca, is there anything you want to add on that?
Well, I was just going to say, if you are like me and you are coming into the world of fashion and you don't have a lot of know-how with fabrics, when Amy's referring to wovens, that is something that does not stretch. So that's kind of a good, clear indication. If she's talking about knits, then that's something that is stretchy. And so you want to be aware of that. And because I don't like those little shoulder things that happen on my stretchy pieces when I hang them, I actually fold those all and put them under in under the bed boxes that store away. So all of my stretchy, wonderful stuff is not on a hanger, under my bed, and I have a few boxes full.
Well, and that depends on your space. And for me, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So there are pieces like this was a new arrival from this season. It's a knit, but it's more of a dressy knit, and I don't necessarily want the wrinkles or anything. So I will put this, and that's what I'm talking about. The pieces you know you're going to go to all the time. And if you are worried about shoulders, that's what this next trick is for.
Yes. Okay, so knits, the underbed boxes, and then I wanted to call attention to the hangers, because as Amy was showing with the hangers, these are the slim line hangers. They're very skinny. They also are velvet flocked, and we both really recommend these because they take up less space in your closet, but also because they're velvet flocked, it holds the garments on them so it's not sliding off. Like if you have a plastic hanger, it's just really, really helpful. And these are not expensive. And you would be amazed how much more joyful it is in your closet just having all the same hanger. It's life-changing.
And even the same color. Generally, I have the exact same color. This is my sample rack, so I didn't take the time. But when I go to shows or in my own closet, they're all the same color. And that really, really helps me. You can do that by season. You don't have to, but I generally, like Cabby gives us this bright pink one for our Heart of Cabby piece. I don't have any other hangers that match it. So I'll use it for that one piece. And then it goes on my sample rack after, it just kind of drives me crazy. Let's talk about space here, as Rebecca was talking. Some of us have a lot of space. Some of us have a little. Some of us, even with a lot, only like a little. And then some of us with a little cram everything in. So how do we make it work? How do we utilize our pieces from season to season that we've kept forever? Like this belt, if you recognize it, it's really starting to die. And I've held on to it for 12 years. It's one of my favorite cabbie belts. So how do we store some of those things? Well, there's some really cool ways you can hang your garments and storage pieces. And I'm going to show you both of those really quick. The first one, I think shoes can really get in the way. These can also be used for flat lace sweaters, especially if you don't want dust on them. And I found these really cool. It's really big. So these are really cool storage containers that have a plastic zipper, and they're thin enough and they look nice enough that I have 4 of them, and I can stack them on top of each other and slide them under my bed. And they look really nice. They don't look like I just have stuff shoved. But also, if you have room in your closet, this might be a way to, stand it and shove them vertically, and it will keep the dust off of your sweaters, off of anything. And there's even little sectional dividers. So that's one thing that I truly love. I actually do flat lay my sweaters like Rebecca does, because I also don't like the shoulder creases. But let me show you how I have these sweaters hung. You can tuck them in here. I don't like to do that for this reason. So this is a really simple trick that you can do. And I'm just going to unwind it so you can see. But the whole point of it, my head is totally out. I guess that doesn't matter, right? Let me back up just a little bit. Oh, nope. We'll just go like this. I forgot I'm in heels and I measured this for a video. Okay. So any sweater that you have, the most simple thing to do is take the shoulders. If it's a turtleneck like this or a cowl neck, I like to flip it over forward because I'm going to fold backwards, and then it straightens out. So really all you have to do is fold your sweater exactly in half. This is easy to do standing. It's easy to do when you are doing your laundry. You just take your hanger, the little hook, and tuck it right here, kind of horizontally under the armpit. And I just lean over and the sweater falls into place. So you can see the front, you can see the back, you can see how narrow it's going to be in your closet, but it's also going to prevent any kind of bumps, pulls. The weight of the sweater is evenly dispersed. And a lot of you may not realize that that's where those shoulder pulls come, because if it's a long sweater like this was our book club cardigan from this fall, it's longer. And so there's going to be a lot of weight tugging on that yarn. And even the stitching will look like it's pulling apart. So this just really evenly does the knit. It saves the sweater, the weight of the sweater. Should I show them the pants trick?
Yes.
Now, if you are limited in space, or maybe you don't have a lot of room to flat lay, or maybe you just really want your jeans, this is actually going to save you space versus a hanger like this. Okay. But this is what we use with cabbie. It's what I have. They don't fit well in my closet because they do take up a lot of room. So if I were to hang my jeans in my closet, I would choose to do it this way. So let me just show you this really quick. And it's actually a little awkward for me because you have to fold to the inside and have the rise on the outside. And I tend to fold my jeans this way. So if I do this, I have to remind myself, you go to the inside and close it, and you pull the crotch out, the rise, so everything is very flat. Then you just take your hanger, put it up halfway through the leg, simply lift, and you hook the belt loop through, and that's it. And then they stay up, they stay flat. You can put them in category just like you can your tops, but it will save a ton of space. These slimline hangers do a lot for you. And if I had actually a second shelf or a second area in my closet, this is 100% how I would do my jeans, just because my shelves are so high that a lot of times I'll just chuck them and then have to reorganize later. So it is another great space saver and a great way to kind of categorize your jeans by color.
And if you are needing to see those slick little tips that Amy showed you, a fun YouTube tip that you may not be aware of is if you just double tap the left side of your screen, it's going to take you back 10 seconds. So you can just rewind that and watch those little blips again, because that's such good information. Now, I just hang my jeans like we do, like she has on her rack back there, just with them hanging down. I find that, for one, it forces me to prioritize what I want to have in my closet, but it also enables me to very quickly and easily grab the actual jean that I want, instead of having to wrestle it out from underneath a pile of other jeans. And so I'm willing to forfeit just a little bit extra space in the closet to be able to do that. One thing that I have done with my closet, and I just have a regular, I don't think it's 6 feet, I think it's a 5 foot wide single bar closet. It's not a walk-in, it's very rudimentary, but I, instead of just having the one bar in there, I took that and I raised it up and I added a second bar along there and then just kind of supported it in the middle. And so on the left half of that closet, then I've got my tops on the top bar, and I organize it exactly like Amy said earlier. So if you need that again, just rewind. And then on the bottom bar, I put all my jackets and then my cardigans. So I use the trick that Amy showed you with the cardigans and fold it over the hanger. And then on the right side, I have all of my jeans and my dresses and my long coats. And then at the bottom of that, I'm obviously not using the bottom bar on that side. I have a shoe organizer under that, and it's just one of the wooden ones that I got from, I think, Home Depot, Menards, whichever. And I do like that organizer for my tennis shoes, for my loafers, for the Oxfords that I have, any short booties. However, they do not work for heels for the most part. Some heels they will, kitten heels, but if you like a full-on heel, it's not the best choice. And so then I still have a little bit of a hodgepodge at the bottom of my closet, but that does work really well. And just by adding that second bar, and it doesn't even have to be across your entire closet, you maximize a bunch more space. And then on top of the shoe organizer is where I flat lay my sweaters, my pullover sweaters.
Yeah, I love those shoe organizers. For a long time, I tried the shoe racks and they'd fall down through, and then I'd have a mess. I'm a Virgo, so I'm either extremely organized or it's a
well, I'm a Gemini and I'm the same way. So
maybe it's just a woman thing. I don't know. But I do love having the individual boxes for them, because I feel like you can do a lot of storage a lot better, and you can find all sorts of resources, whether it's Home Goods, Amazon, overstock.com. There's so many places to buy. Wayfair, you guys know all the places, so you can just start looking. I think the Container Store probably has some really incredible things as well.
Yeah, I think we'll do another video where we kind of do a deeper dive on how we organize drawers and maybe jewelry and accessories, but that's kind of a next step. One thing we did want to touch with on this video is garment care and maintenance. And I have come a long way, baby, in how I take care of my clothes the last 20 years. I was always one that just kind of threw everything in the washing machine and sink or swim, you're coming out or or you're not. And I have definitely honed in on some skills. Now, I wash all of my clothes, like tops and sweaters and things like that, on the delicate cycle or hand wash cycle. My jeans I do on a regular cycle, but I don't dry anything. If it is something that stretches, it gets laid over a drying rack. And if it's a woven material that does not stretch, then it gets directly hung up. The same with my jeans. So that's one of the reasons that I like how I do hang my jeans, is because when I pull them out of the washing machine, they go right on the hanger and they get hung up to dry, and then they go right into my closet. So it's just a little bit of an efficiency. Now, I did start using these mesh bags on my pieces that are stretchy. So like the knit Serenity tees and things that we've really come to love, those all go in a mesh bag. So they're not getting all stretched out all over the washing machine. And that's one thing I like. And then I can't wait to hear what Amy's favorite detergent and stain remover is, but I will share mine here quick. I use Norwex laundry detergent. Absolutely love it. And then I found this fantastic, now Norwex does make a stain remover that I like, but I love this product. And this is called Grandma's Secret Spot Remover Laundry Spray. And it does oil, grease, paint, makeup, grass, clay, inks, blood, baby formula, tar, spaghetti sauce, coffee, betadine, rust, turmeric, fabric bleed, and pet stains. So like basically anything you could possibly get on your clothes. You can spray this on. I have had fabulous results. I've never had it discolor anything. I use a Pomifera oil on my face for skincare, and there's times that I like dribble it onto my shirt that I'm wearing, and that is something that this takes out so easily, and it's never been an issue. There's also a secret spot remover that you could keep with you. So if you're out and about, you can put it on an area. I will say I had never been around the Tide pen. So I have Tide pens, but I'd never actually used them. And a friend of mine had on white jeans, and she got, I can't even remember what she got on there, but she had something on the leg of her white jean while we were out and about. She took her Tide pen and she put it right on that spot, and it took it away. So I was sold on that as well. So Amy, what about for you?
Well, I'm a simple girl that likes simple things because my boys will destroy everything. So you know what? One of my favorite grease removers is Blue Dawn dish soap. And you can also add a little vinegar to that if you want. I'm very simple with my whites. I love to buy the Oxy whitener and add that to my wash. I didn't bring anything in here because I was getting storage, but I really also, I don't do fabric softeners, and I dry everything. I don't have a dry rack. My railing to my stairs becomes my cabbie dry rack. But here's a little tip of the day for you. If you have a very helpful husband, which we truly appreciate, or if you happen to do, want your clothes done separately and you don't want, I have a mechanical family. I end up with these red shop rags that will destroy everything. And it only took about one shirt to be ruined by having a red shop rag thrown in my laundry for me to go, you know what? I really love your help, but I'm getting a separate laundry basket. So anything that I don't want to get washed with everything else, if I'm collecting darks or anything, my husband will leave chapstick in his pockets, and I'll search his pockets, but I do it quickly. So I have in my closet a separate laundry basket that is actually labeled cabbie and workout gear, because I spend a lot of money on cabbie and nice workout gear. And so those are things that I know I don't want anyone else to touch. And then I do those loads myself. Whites are a huge thing for me. I don't like dingy whites. And so one thing you'll notice with specifically the Cabbie clothing brand, our whites, as Rebecca said, come clean beautifully. And I really attest that to the quality of the fabric. There are whites out there that are actually dyed white, and they will go dingy really quickly. If you're finding a lot of yellowing, sometimes even taking those to the dry cleaners, that will happen. And so I just think you really need to be aware of what fabrics you're washing, how you're washing them. And one of the greatest reasons that Rebecca and I both love the Cabby clothing brand is generally 99% of each collection is wash and wear. So a steamer is key. We've talked about that in the past. You can get some for under $40. You don't have to go out and buy a $300 commercial steamer. But if you just flat lay, like Rebecca is saying, generally the weight of the fabric, if you just take the time to shake your jeans out, smooth them down, hang them up, you're not going to have a lot of major wrinkles that you need to worry about anyway. And so it's just, I will put my clothes in the closet hanging wrinkled because it only takes a second for me to steam it when I want to wear it. I don't like to steam them before because then they get put in my closet and I end up steaming them anyway. So that may drive people crazy, but I just assume steam it and go rather than go to all the work with my laundry. So I hang dry, put away, just like Rebecca does. And I found that that is a really easy thing. And actually, back in the day, I used to steam all my Cabby clothes all the time. And it was like before every show, after every show. And I have really found that this brand does really well. Unless there's a natural fabrication, like a linen or a cotton, there's not going to be a lot of wrinkles in it anyway. And so it's very easy to care for. The mesh, the garment bags are key for lingerie, your bras. And one other thing I wanted to mention, and I forgot to grab it, but Rebecca and I both live in a really wet climate. And I have a lot of suede. Like I have these over the knee boots that are a suede boot. And a lot of times you'll get that water stain on them. So I always treat my leather, if it's a nice leather jacket with a conditioner, or it's like $6 a can, the Kiwi waterproofer. And I will just take that and do a couple coats over my boots because I do spend a lot of money on shoes that I know I will wear a lot, Sorels, anything like that. And it just keeps them looking nicer. And then you can kind of brush the dirt off. Anything from you?
No, I'm glad that you brought up the waterproofing thing on the shoes, because when you do trudge through snow and you've got wonderful suede shoes that you love, then you want to protect those. Now, I haven't tried the Kiwi. Does that maintain the natural color of the suede, or does it discolor it at all when you spray it on?
I haven't had it discolored. In fact, let me just show you let me grab this really quick. Time out. We're live. I can grab them. They're right here. They're in a bag because I had them packed up. But these are my new Sorel booties that I had the other day. And I put it on and it actually, you can still see the suede. And I did some heavy coats of it. But it's going to help eliminate some of that water stain that you just absolutely get in our climate. You know, Utah, I don't know about Kansas, but we have 4 seasons. One is construction. The other 3 is winter, mud season, and just gross. Like we have one beautiful season. No, we have more than that, but it feels like that. Like if the sun's out, it's construction season. If it's not, it's either snowing, raining, or just muddy because it's turning to spring. So I really believe in conditioning your shoes to keep them looking really fresh and new, especially if you spend a lot of money on them. You can see this other pair of boots I have. I haven't treated these yet because they are new, but again, anything that I can get traction with this time of year, I am going to treat my boot that way. I just know that they're going to last longer.
Well, that just helps, like with the suede, it helps with the salt line or the mud line or whatever. You can really get back in there and remove that with a shoe brush a lot easier if you have that pre-treated.
Well, and
So
I think you can get a wet rag and not be afraid to kind of wipe some of that off and then just retreat them if you need to.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I think that is all for today. We will be back next week with some really fun things. As Rebecca said, when we rebranded from Style RX to Our Amplified Life, we really felt a need and a calling that this should be about all things that amplify our lives, with fashion being the main staple of it. So next week, we are going to talk about being in your mid-40s. If you're younger or older, this is still a conversation for you, but we really want to talk about fitness and well-being and what we do, rather than, I would say, making your New Year's resolutions to get to the gym, but how do we have overall fitness, both mentally, physically, spiritually, and what do we find that works for us? This is not going to be any advice given, more of a conversation of changes that Rebecca and I've seen through our lives, and we hope that it will help you with yours. So that being said, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week, and we can't wait to see you.